Hi, I'm Pete Trego, and welcome to another edition of the Clubhouse. So far, I hope you're enjoying all the world-class sportsmen that are joining me on the show so far. Today, great friend, great rugby player, one of the Fab Four, Lee Byrne. How are you, my man?
Good, Trees, you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm going a little bit mental, I've got to be honest. Like, lockdown week 4 has been hard on me.
Mate, it doesn't look like that online, mate. All the training you're doing, you're flying, mate.
The drums go in, but also I think my barnet's going a little bit, son.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when you were bending down. You was catching the light then, mate.
I'm on my 4th haircut, and I've realised I think I'm getting the old Friar Tuck in. So watch this space, son. What have you been doing with yourself since we've been locked up like mice?
Well, obviously, you know, I got a newborn, so I was just saying to Ollie now. Is it Ollie? Yeah. That's taking a bit of time, actually. Taking a lot of time because Andrea's in work. So yeah, I'm looking after the baby.
You daddy daycare?
I can't wait to go back, mate, to work. It's hard, isn't it? I wouldn't tell her that, but when she comes home, how is it? Yeah, easy, but yeah, it's not, is it?
No, not when you're
apart from that
nappy stage.
Yeah, she's walking as well, so I'm chasing her around everywhere, getting the steps in there. Always ripping up trees, chasing her everywhere.
You got a side step on
yet? Not yet. Training in between when she's napping. Yeah, just sunbathing, mate. Walking the dogs.
I was going to say you have got a little bit of a Dave Dickinson little tan glow going on at the moment. Bit of bargain hunt.
Well, you know, mate, I'm trying my best, but got to get a base in there, haven't you, mate?
It is natural.
It is natural, mate, because there's no sunbed shops open, is it?
Oh my man!
I'm saving a fortune on beds, mate.
What is it like? £3.95 plus you get those funny little eye things, don't you?
But yeah, so it's going quite well. It is going quite quick so far.
Now, new father, Andrea's obviously doing the news and all that sort of stuff. Is she still able to go into the studio?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but she's a bit. She has asked a question, I think, when she's going to start doing it from home, because a lot of them are doing the weather from home, but they're still going in at the moment. But there's not many in. I think there's only about 2 or 3 in the whole of the studio. So,
if it needs any advice, mate, on how to present via the internet, you can the phone to me.
All right, mate. Well, natural, and you.
Well, thanks for saying it, mate.
You've been retiring from cricket for the last 5 years, mate, but you've still going.
I know, mate. I know. Do you remember that when we were away and we were obviously doing a bit like talking about our training and this that, and we said probably after a few pina coladas, you said to me you got at least 4 more years in you, and then every time I get some runs and end up the club announces I've got some runs on Twitter, you've said. #4 more years, but you're saying that 4 years now.
It's mad, mate. You've been retiring longer than Shane Williams was when he kept on at 1 more game, mate.
Just can't give it away, son. Just can't give it away.
Dig it in, mate. Stay in there as long as you can. My advice on me.
Yeah, well, obviously we had a little bit of a venture in the old building industry. It didn't go so well for me, but you're flying at the moment. Bridgeport 360, your new company. That's is that taking up a fair bit of your time, or you're on the down low now?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're all on furlough, so just doing training as much as we can with accreditations, and so there's stuff we can do in the background. But obviously, we're not allowed to go on site at the moment. Well, we are allowed, but subcontractors can't get material, so basically there is no work going on. But yeah, it was going well up to that point. Hopefully it'll kick back on when we come out with this. I mean, we spoke to a few clients and they're still going ahead with various jobs. So yeah, are you still waiting for your commission?
I was going to say the commission's in the post.
I thought I'd get it in before you got that, isn't it?
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. But obviously, you keep yourself, you're keeping yourself tidy, physically fit. Are you still doing a
Yeah.
little bit rugby-wise? What's your sort of rugby involvement these days?
Zero, mate. I played in Paul James's testimonial last year, and then I had to have 2 knee ops after it. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. My knees are gone anyway, but I had 2 clean outs then. So, yeah, to be honest, I think you either want to go into it after you retire. I knew a few good friends, Jonathan Thomas, doing a great job in Worcester. He's gone to Worcester. He's in Bristol at the moment. But you can see people like that when they play and they're really into their coaching as well. And JT was phenomenal at running lineouts and stuff like that. So I always knew he'd go on and make a good coach. And you always can tell, I think, with players who are going to go on and do coaching. To be honest, who wasn't really for me. I love the game, but I was at the end. I was happy to step away. Really, well, not happy, but
I feel the same way, mate. I mean, I think I'm a doer. I feel like I want to do it. I reckon like parts of me would like to coach cricket and stuff, but I'd want to give me the bat. I'll show you. Do you know what I mean? I think that's unfortunately a bit of a character trait. Probably not great for a coach, to be fair.
No.
So,
no, it's just gym at the moment. Trees following your sessions online. Seeing you can go for it. In fairness to you, that's it, really, mate.
Mate, you just got to stay on top of the training. I reckon
you have
won the trophy last year, carried on the celebration until about December, and then just like it's so easy to lose your fitness, and it takes a serious dedication to get it back, doesn't it? I mean, I'm
as you get older, yeah.
I'm about 12 weeks into a proper like training cycle, and I'm thinking I'm never going to let it go that far again because it's so hard to get it back, isn't it?
Especially as you get older. I mean, I remember going when I was 20, 21, going away in the in the off season for 2-3 weeks holidays, coming back and be absolutely flying. Now, I mean, one day on the beer has done me for a week. So,
honestly, I've never seen anyone like you, to be fair, though. When we went for our little trip to Dubai to watch the old Grand Prix, I've never seen a bloke go away for 4 days on the beers with the lads like we all were. And I reckon you put on a bit of muscle and lost weight. Everyone else was in a shocking state. If you don't mind, I think when you're in someone like a sporting legends company like I was for you, it amazed me that we were at the Formula One and loads of people recognise you from your rugby career. And we had a great time watching the Grand Prix and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember that I won my most favourite memory of having a couple of beers with you is we went to watch Lionel Richie, didn't we? And there was a little crew of us, and there was a few like rugby supporters around, and Lionel Richie broke off into one of his famous songs, and there was about 50 of us singing, "Hello, is it Leon?"
Leon looking for...
And everyone was pointing at you. That was amazing, buddy.
Mate, no, you can't give me the credit for that. They were from Wales, mate. So that was the only reason why they recognised me. It was a good trip, that was, mate.
Yeah, it was a beauty, mate. Hopefully, some more in the future. But let's go back in time a little bit. I have to go right back in time. I'd have to go back 39 years, mate. I had no idea you were born in Weston-super-Mare, mate, where I'm sat now.
Who has changed that Wikipedia page, mate? Right, because that is a load of bullshit. Whoever put that. You don't have to. Anybody can go on there. But
are you serious?
I've done a few dinners now, and that is come up. Lee Martin Byrne, born in Weston-super-Mare. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Mate, that's ruined me, mate. I thought we were like brothers from another me.
Somebody put on there as well. I've now become a trout farmer. So, so anybody can go on it, mate. You just have to I contact the admin, whoever they are. Yeah, can you get it off me, please? I'm not.
I didn't get that far down the page to the trout farming bit.
I don't know what's worse. Western
believed it.
Supermare or Bridgend, mate. I don't know what's worse. Like,
Well, is it coastal? Does it count as coastal?
well, yeah, but yeah. Oh.
Right, we go back in time. Right, okay. So you've been born in Western Supermare. You've been shipped over to Wales into Bridgend. Like young memories. Was it always rugby? Was that your passion growing up?
No, I think anything really. I think whatever, when I was growing up, grew up on a council estate. What?
And trout.
Trout farming. I grew up on a council estate in Bridgend. Not the sort of glamorous area to live, but I loved it. I loved my time there. And when we were out playing, when the World Cup or the European football was on, we were out playing football, Wimbledon, I was playing tennis, cricket. So whatever sport really, it wasn't just rugby. It was all sorts. And were you the same at that age? You don't see much of that happening nowadays. Kids on the street playing a lot of sport. But no, it was great. Loved it. I suppose it gave me a bit of everything really. Hand-eye coordination. Everything around. Playing all sorts of sports. So I always say to kids, don't put all your eggs in one basket and just dedicate yourself to rugby at a young age. I think try your hand at everything really.
Yeah, great advice. But don't do yourself a disservice. Obviously, you were known to have like some serious ability with that rugby ball. I don't know. I always was brought up to play football, so I thought the lads that couldn't play football were the guys that played in the rugby team. But as you get as you get a bit older and you start what I went to watch the England-Wales game with you a couple of years ago. I mean, it is like. I don't think I have, like, from my sort of sporting knowledge, rugby knowledge, when the ball's sort of hidden in amongst like a load of 20-stone blokes, but then when the ball goes out to the backs and to see the movement and everything. I mean, one of the guys I love watching, like Danny Cipriani, like the skills that he has and the way he can manipulate the game with the ball, phenomenal stuff. But obviously, much like yourself, your influence in the game, in particular. That Grand Slam you had, that must have been something to be seriously proud of. To score that many tries in a competition of that magnitude, that must have been a decent night out once you got back to Cardiff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, up until that point, really, my Welsh career was sort of stop-start. I've been in the 2 or 3 years in the frame, but never really held a place down. And it was when Warren Gatland came to the Welsh team, and he only had 3 weeks preparation for that England game. So we were going to Twickenham. Gatland, he couldn't really do anything with the squad. He had us for one camp, and he decided to pick 13 Ospreys in the team because he knew we were doing well in Europe at the tournament. And he said, "Look, I just want to keep." It's too quick to turn around to start playing a combination. So we're just going to chuck 13 Ospreys in the team and see how we go. And we went to Twickenham and we beat England the first time in 22 years. And I scored a try that day. That sort of made my career go from strength to strength. I didn't particularly have a major impact on that game apart from that try. And it wasn't particularly a good try, but confidence-wise, it took me to another level. First time we beat England 22 years. And then we went on and won the Grand Slam that year. And my career it went up, 1,000,000%, playing again, got selected for the Lions after that. So yeah, I look back at that game and think to myself, that was a game that really sort of put me on the scene internationally and for the rest of my career, really.
Because obviously before that, your Wales debut was against a insane New Zealand team. Obviously, I've heard you speak a few times. You got a bit of a dusting up that day, and the team obviously you got beaten pretty badly. But obviously, your experience as a player, you got a decent introduction to international rugby, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I was shitting myself already going on against the All Blacks, but we were losing by 40 points, and I didn't want to go on. Alfie came off after 58 minutes, Gareth Thomas, and I just remember running on thinking, we're not hiding to nothing here. And I took a ball up the middle and I said it on Twitter on one of my videos. And Jerry Collins, who became a good friend of mine in the end, one of the biggest hitters in world rugby, first touch of the ball international, and got absolutely smashed from the side, seeing stars, knocked the ball on. I was just looking up and thinking, is this international rugby for me? Looking up at him, and he just looked over me. He said, "Hey, bro, step next time." And I remember looking back and said, "I haven't got a step, bro." And the 20 minutes, everyone says to me, "Oh, you know, you can't remember your first cap because it's going to go really quick." Well, it went quick because I think I was concussed for 20 minutes trying to get up on the floor. But yeah, that was my introduction to international rugby, and after that, I did have a wake-up call really after that 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you know that's a bit of a baptism of fire for you. But I know you speak very fondly of Jerry. Sadly passed away. Was he one of the biggest sort of characters? You know, once you became teammates, was he the joker, the sort of the man in the dressing room?
Yeah, he was, mate. You know, but he could think about Jerry. He could back it up. You know, he was unbelievable player and an unbelievable drinker as well, mate. He would turn up, rock up at going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rock up at training on the Monday, and absolutely kill everybody in training and fitness, and in the weights room, whatever it was. It was, he brought it. Monday, it all stopped, but then on the weekends he had his fun, and that's the way he grew up. But yeah, there was a game. I remember. I think we were playing Edinburgh on or was it Glasgow? Sorry, on a November. The pitch was all iced up, snow everywhere. We were all on the field, wondering whether it was going to go on. It was live on TV, so the cameras were panning down onto the field. All the Ospreys boys are out on the field, just checking to see, looking at the grass, and it panned over to Jerry, and he was like walking round in like a circle. And the boys were like, well, what's he doing over there? What's he doing over there? Anyway, the camera panned down to it. He'd drawn a massive cock and balls in the snow live on TV. Camera panned back. And that was him, basically, mate. He was just a complete, massive joker, and great friend, like I said, but an animal on the field and in the training room,
Yeah, I mean, it is. Obviously, I never had the opportunity to play rugby because of cricket and soccer or football, but always, even the local teams that played in a decent league around here, they were known to be like the camaraderie and the celebrations afterwards, the nights out. It was literally just a real sort of alpha male environment where you just played hard on and off the field. But I bet you had some pretty amazing times. Was the camaraderie the same when you played sort of international rugby, or was it more with your club team? How was that dynamic different?
It's changed a lot now, but I think my era. We just sort of was the end of it, where the camera phones weren't about. It was 2008, 2009. The camera phones weren't about. Social media wasn't as big. There's a lot of pressure on players now to obviously behave yourself and etc. But you can't get away with anything. But yeah, we enjoyed ourselves. Gatland was all for, you play well and you put a performance in, you go out and enjoy yourselves. He's a Kiwi mentality. The Kiwis, everyone's got this perception of them being never touching a drop. They are the biggest drinkers, mate, in the world, but they front up on the Monday. And, it's not like, I'm hungover, or that was Jerry's mentality, exactly what that was, And I think we are in Wales, we feel sorry for ourselves, and, the Monday we don't train as hard, but they've got the different mindset and mentality where, they do it, and then they front up the next day. And Gatland brought that when he came over, and we went out and enjoyed ourselves. There was a few mishaps with people like Andy Powell with the golf buggy and all that.
A 3 o'clock trip up the old M4.
Yeah, as you do, mate, after a night out.
Yeah. I mean, like you're exactly right, though. I mean, obviously, I started my career 20 odd years ago now, where you could go out on the beers and you'd play the next day. There'd be no whinging. You just get on with it. But it was a level playing field. Like today's game, you're more likely to see guys lying in ice baths and cryo chambers and all this kind of stuff. I'm
not saying it's wrong, but yeah.
It's just different, isn't it? Everyone was having a few beers 20 years ago, and now everyone's looking after themselves. But,
I'm glad I played in that. I'm glad I played in that era where I was able to do that. I think for me, that's one thing I do, that I've got no regrets about. sort of, enjoy yourself after a game. I was able to do that, and take great memories and stories,
Yeah, same. It does worry me actually. Like when I look at, look around, I've got, some great characters in my new dressing room now, and I've got great mates from my Somerset days. But I look now as it's changing, and the lads coming into the dressing rooms now, unless you text them, you don't really, do you know what I mean? Your relationships are by WhatsApp and text message, and it's so different now to like communicate with the younger lads, and there's the professionalism is drummed into them. I'm not sure I would have been as, or I would have tried to be as flamboyant as player if I was that way inclined. My role models were senior players. I mean, I can remember my first senior game for Somerset where the head coach took me to a nightclub till 2 a.m. I mean that obviously completely not the way to do things. But as a 16, 17-year-old lad, I look back now and it was like such a big sort of, playing a little bit dusty or warming up a little bit dusty. It was such a sort of a character test. And I reckon in an unprofessional way actually made me grow up quicker and I think play more first team cricket at an early age, because I was like just thrown into this like lion's den of real men. Do you know what I mean? And it's just it's so different now. So different now. But your obviously career spanned quite a decent amount of time. Obviously, you played domestically, you played a lot of international rugby, and obviously a massive move for yourself going over to France. How was that experience for you, being a Bridgend / Weston-super-Mare born lad moving over?
I mean, the move come about. I'll tell you how it happened. Really, we played Clermont Auvergne I was playing for the Ospreys in 2009, and I remember running out in that stadium, Stade Marcel Mitchell. I don't know if you've seen them on the TV, and they got one of the best supported teams around. And I remember running out and thinking to myself, "Wow, I've never experienced atmosphere like this in my life, apart from Principality Stadium or Millennium Stadium as it was then." And it just lifted my game. We went on. I think we lost the game 30 odd points, but I played really well. But I just remember thinking, imagine running out here week in, week out in this stadium, 25,000 all seater, and it was phenomenal. And then a year later, they came in and tried to sign me. So, I could have gone to Biarritz and down with the beach, and there was a couple of other French clubs, wanted to sign me, but Clermont probably isn't the nicest place to live. The French say that, and it's probably not the easiest place to live. But I just remember that atmosphere, thinking, if I don't get that every weekend, I won't remember it again. So, I signed there, and it was a big move because Andrea obviously had a career as well. Being a career woman, I didn't want her to give up that job either. So we were commuting. She was commuting for a year, and then she took a year sabbatical. And then the last year we carried on doing the commuting. So it was tough, but I made some great mates up there, and the standard of rugby was second to none. I think one of the hardest leagues in the world, and I think one of the big things is a lot of Welsh players go there and don't really do well. I probably pride myself on being, one of the 3 players that probably made it in France. In terms of, that's what people say. There's not many Welsh players that go there and succeed. And, I went to the toughest league and done well.
Yeah, you certainly did. And obviously that period in time, there was was it a bit of tax free as well, which was useful, wasn't it?
Well, no, it's not tax free. It is certainly. You don't pay the tax out of your wage. You got to make sure you put some back. Otherwise, when you leave in 3 years, you get a massive tax bill. So I think a lot of players just disappear back to the islands of Fiji and New Zealand without paying it. So
there's more for the Islander boys that just disappear away. So
they're gone, mate.
You settled your debt, or can you not set foot in Dover anymore, or on the old Ashford Channel? You get arrested at
yeah.
What an experience, though, mate! What a great life you've led. I mean, if you could sort of pinpoint one moment in your whole career that sort of makes you sort of goosebumpy, whether it be a domestic trophy or something you did with Wales? What was the moment for Lee Byrne in his career?
For Grand Slam 2008, obviously that try first of all, and then we won that game against France, and then walking around the stadium, medal on Grand Slam and a Triple Crown trophy, carrying that around the stadium, just looking, finding the appearance and seeing that. Growing up as a young kid in Wales, all you wanted to do is play for Wales, and you've seen the old Five Nations then, as it was, wearing that jersey, the Five Nations jersey, playing rugby as a kid, and then just walking around with that medal around my neck, thinking, wow, that gives me goosebumps now talking about it. So probably that moment, Grand Slam 2000.
Obviously, you wrote a book that was voted best sports book recently.
Well, yeah, it got in the short list. I think there was only 2 written that year, Trego. So yeah,
I was going to say best sports book written by someone born in Weston in Bridgeport.
Yeah, it's in the you can still buy it in a bargain bucket in Tesco's if you want to have a look at it.
How many crayons did you go through writing that? No. Obviously, I've had a little read of some of the passages in that book. Obviously, the stuff that hits the press. Obviously, sort of negative relationships with coaches. Obviously, I've been in that position before where you don't quite click with someone. Obviously, you can have a pretty detrimental effect of what you're trying to do. Is it fair to say that now, obviously, being retired for 3, 4, 5 years now, is that have you parked those emotions now and you can look back on what you've done in your career with pride?
Yeah, definitely I can look back in my career with pride. Yeah, probably there's still people, obviously coaches I probably dislike still, but I've got no, the way my career ended was, I've got no, I can't complain. I probably overachieved as a young kid. I come in from where I didn't get any recognition at any age playing rugby in Wales, and went straight to senior rugby. Really missed all the age grades. So yeah, I think I've done well to what I've done, and I'm proud.
And so you should be, mate. Well, I have to say that getting to know you over the last few years has been an absolute joy. Learning about your game, watching your step on the dance floor has been an awesome experience for me, mate. I'm sure we'll get a chance to catch up soon. Well done on everything you've done.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
Yeah, mate. It's been great to talk a little bit of egg chasing with you, pal.
Cheers, mate.
And I hope you look after that little one. Keep changing the nappies and all that sort of stuff. If it's a smell, it's not always going to be you. Just remember that.
Thanks, mate. Top man.
Cheers, Bernie. You're a legend.
Cheers, Trego.
Thank you very much for tuning in, listening to myself and Lee Byrne. If you've enjoyed our chats with the Clubhouse, various superstars from all over the world of sport, please click the subscribe button. Follow our social media pages. There's lots more to come, but in the meantime, stay safe, stay indoors, and look after each other. Thank you.